First of all, I think probably what George and I have in common is a love of cinema, but also a desire for independence. So I think that's something that he and I have in common. How it started for me is that as a kid growing up in Los Angeles, it was a lower working class neighborhood and there wasn't much to do. And so we would walk, we didn't have a car, the family didn't have a car, so we would walk to a local theater and see movies on Saturday night. And I was like 4 or 5 years old. I mean, I was just a kid, but it had great impact on me because you would see 2 films, and you would see a Pete Smith short, you would see 1 or 2 cartoons, you would see a Pathé newsreel, war still going on in the front. So that's what you got for 40 cents or whatever it was. And that was my first experience for film, and I guess what it tied into me was the idea of storytelling. I mean, I was always a lover of the word story. I mean, I can't think of anything more exciting than to be a child and hear the words "once upon a time." It just got me going, you know. So story was a big part of it. So here was visual storytelling. When I was a kid, I drew for companionship. Parents couldn't afford a babysitter, so if they had to go somewhere to play cards with somebody, they'd take me along. And because I started drawing at 4 or 5, because that obviously was something I was comfortable with and was interested in, they would give me paper and a pencil and let me go off and draw. So in my head, I guess I assumed I wanted to be an artist. And then I had an experience where you have these moments in your life, maybe 1 or 2 or maybe 3, where something happens that changes the direction you're going to go in. And it happened to me in the 3rd grade in grammar school in Los Angeles, and I was not interested in what the teacher was saying. I wasn't interested in what the class was about. To me, it was someone standing and talking, and so I just wasn't interested. So what I did was draw under the table, and I would draw things that interested me, and that kept me going. But the problem was I wasn't paying attention, and the teacher caught me. And she decided she was going to humiliate me and put me on the... And she said, "Oh, what's going on over there? What's so important that's more important than our class here? What's under the table that's more important than..." And I thought, I'm screwed. You know, I'm just going to be burned. So she said, "Why don't you bring up what's more important? Show us." And so I brought my picture that I'd been drawing. And she said, "Okay, tell us about it." And I said, "Okay, well, here's... the cowboys are chasing Indians over a cliff. And the cowboys are shooting at the Indians. The Indians are shooting arrows back at the cowboys. And above the cowboys are B-51 bombers bombing the cowboys." Because that's what I thought was I really enjoyed that. And she did something pretty amazing, because I thought I was about to be, I don't know what would have happened to me being self-conscious and feeling inadequate in a classroom. I don't know what would have happened had she not done something pretty amazing, where she said, "Okay, tell you what, why don't we're going to put a paper on an easel, and every Wednesday we'll give you 15 minutes, and you come up and draw a story for the class, but then you have to pay attention." I said, "Okay." Now, had she gone the other way, considering the shape I was in at that time in my life, I don't know what would have happened. And I didn't want anyone to ask me a question about, "What are you going to do?" You know, it made me crazy, because I knew that my answer was going to be unsatisfying. So I just didn't want to be asked. You know, if I said, "I want to be an artist," I'd have to suffer the expression on their faces, you know. So I made up something. I said, well, I was going to Pratt Institute, and I said I want to be an art director. I didn't know what that meant. I just said it to get people off my back, because basically I didn't know what I wanted to do or be. And so while I was there, somebody said, "Well, if you want to go into art, you should maybe have set design. You should get that. Why don't you go to a dramatic school, and you can learn about drama, and maybe your connection there you'll be able to..." So I said, "Sure, anything." I was just free. So I ended up auditioning for the American Academy of Dramatic Arts as an actor, which was not in my plan as a kid. I didn't imagine myself being that. But I had to act. And so the teacher took me, and she took me on scholarship. She said, "Well, I think you have something, but you talk through your teeth." And she said, "So you're going to have to learn how to open your mouth." But she took me on, and I went to the academy, and suddenly there was a shift that I wasn't expecting, because I loved film, but I didn't have respect for film because I thought it was what other people were saying, a trivial pursuit. Therefore, I was always guilty about loving movies. But something happened that surprised me, and that something clicked in an unsuspecting way. I wasn't expecting to feel the pleasure from acting that I did feel. And once that happened, I said, I guess this is a direction I should be going.